You're about to learn You're about to learn the secret to drawing 97.5% better. And I'm about to show you exactly what that secret is. Or rather, what it isn't. Dum dum dum. Yeah, I'll explain. And in order to explain, first I'm going to use the shape that is probably universally known by every single person on this planet. You know it, I know it, your brother, your mother, your sister, your cousin from next door, all know it. And that shape is, yeah, you probably guessed it, the egg. Oh, you thought I was gonna say like circle or something. No, circles are basic. We are not basic over here. The egg. We're going to try to draw an egg. Now, if we were gonna try to draw this, the average person might, I don't know, let's say, just do it freehand. They would do something like, probably should prepare this. Take this away and probably just say, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and draw this egg here. Not really know what I'm doing. And it will come out however it comes out. And oh, that's okay. Kind of looks like a lemon. But it's not really a systematic approach. Like, you don't know exactly what you're doing or how to get the accuracy that you're looking for. Because if we turn this opacity down, turn that egg on. Okay, well, first off, I made it way too big. So we're just going to go ahead and size that down a bit. Okay, wow, it's actually a little more accurate than I was hoping for. Okay. But it still looks weird. It looks wonky and it's not a lot of predictability in this. So what we're going to do is take out all the guesswork, and we are literally going to make this so much easier. This is the secret method. This is the secret method that you've been waiting for. And it's going to sound so simple that you're going to be like, wow, this guy's crazy. But stick with me. I promise you, it'll make sense and you'll see everything completely differently after this video. Okay. So let's go here. All right. So what we're going to do, instead of just guessing how we're supposed to draw this egg, not really knowing how the curves are supposed to be, we are going to, it will not do that. What we're going to do instead is we are going to put this egg, okay, that was not a straight line. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to put this egg, why am I selecting? This egg and stop selecting in a box. You're just going to put the egg in a box. And now I know what you're thinking, or probably thinking, what is a box supposed to do? Stick with me. So instead of seeing the egg as it is, we're going to see the parts of the box that the egg has cut out. So we have these four corners right here. You have this corner. I said you have this corner, you have this corner, you have this corner, and you have this corner for those sections, right? So now, just to give you a better visual, we have this corner, we have this corner, we have the top left corner, and we have, whoops, not that, the top right corner. So we can take this away, and we can take the egg away. And that is a whole lot more manageable if you just break it down to the simple parts. So we have a piece there. That's easy to draw. This is easy to draw. This is doable. And you can also do that. So you literally just put it all together, and then as a byproduct, you get the egg. That's your egg. So if you just look at it section by section, this is a doable line. This right here is a totally doable line to draw. That blue one, this is doable. This is doable. This is doable. All we're doing is putting it in a box, and we're looking at that curve. And we're the same thing for this. So you literally just put all of them together, and then bam, you have your egg. It's really that simple. And I promise you, this works for practically everything. I've been going around my house trying to use this method that I just showed you or gave you a sneak. Why am I not seeing the, okay. Right, I've been looking at every single object that I can lay my eyes on just to use this method, and it works. It just keeps working. And if the object is a little more complex, you just use more boxes. That's the whole method. Just put it in a box and observe the curve. Just put it in a box and observe the curve. So I am going to move on to a different item to demonstrate how this works. In order to do that, I'm gonna have to go into another app in order to make things even simpler. Okay, so this app is called Pixquare, Pixquare. It's only on iOS. If you want it, I definitely recommend getting it. I'm using my iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil for this. You don't have to do any of that. You could literally just use pencil and paper, or pen and paper, marker and paper, whatever it is. And if you want to make your boxes, you can literally get a quilting template. It's like a see-through transparent template that you could actually use to make squares and see what it is that you're doing. But I'm doing this, or using this app, for the sake of this video. So what we're gonna do, I have my slippers here, my chanclas. We are going to put these in their boxes now. And we're gonna see how that method that I just taught you works for this. So let's go ahead and, I'm using pixel art, by the way. This canvas is 40 pixels by 40 pixels. I did that because I want to make it simpler and easy for you to see. So let's go ahead, get a good blue color here. Let's put this on top. All right. So the way that you make the boxes is you look for the lowest, the most right, the most left, and the highest points of whatever object it is that you're trying to draw. So the same thing for over here, over here. This is the highest point over here. This would be the most right point over here. You could even do it on straight. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You don't even have to use this on curves necessarily. You can use it on straightaways. Look, this right here is a straight line, right? You can use it like that, and boom, you see the negative space all up in there. But yeah, now I'm gonna make it a little cleaner, so it looks a little more profesh. Okay, so this is about, yeah, that's the thing with pixel art. You can't always get completely perfect because, you know, it's very rigid. It's still like any other art where it's limitless, but it's a little less limitless. But that's why I like it, because it causes you to make like split second decisions or executive decisions. Anyway, so that's one box, and you can already start seeing that curve like right there. Let's go back to making our boxes. See, so I'm seeing a curve right here. Let me make it up top. I hope you see what I'm talking about again, because it's pixel art. Yeah, there you go. Same thing. Over here is like our most left. We want top, down, left, right. The topmost piece, the bottommost piece, the leftmost piece, and the rightmost piece. That's how you calculate your box and see the curves. So yeah, that could work. Okay, even over here. Let's do that. That can work. This is our topmost piece right here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for that. And again, you don't have to do exactly this. You just have to make however many boxes make sense to you. For me, I'm doing this because I just want you to see every angle that you could possibly do with this. This is the topmost piece right here. So in order to do that, I'm going to, let's start from here. Yes. Right there. This looks a little crazy. I probably should have done one shoe at a time. But essentially, so on the surface, this looks crazy. And like it could be a lot. But it just has to make sense to you. I see what it is. I see right here. That's the red portion. Over here is the big part of the left shoe. Over here is a big part of the right shoe. Over here is a big part of the back shoe. Over here is over here is the red part of the right shoe. So I'm gonna separate this into just the two shoes, well, each individual shoe, so that it's a little easier to understand. So we have a box right here. I'll go ahead and fill it in just so you can see. See these edges right here? That's what that is. That's the box. Okay, so if I were to actually draw it though, I would still be thinking about that. So this is basically a straight line. That's basically a straight line. And that comes up like so. Now, right. So that would be, to go to my reference there. That's the first part of the shoe. Or it's the open toe of the left foot. So we can keep going. So we have over here. We put our line art on top. Yes. Right. So we're gonna make another box. So I see a topmost point here. I see a leftmost point here. I can already tell this is going to be a triangle right there. And this isn't completely straight, but due to the nature of pixel art, we're going to draw, and more so due to the nature of how many pixels I have. this is gonna be straight. But this is definitely, look, you can even see it's like a little triangle going like that. It's like a little triangle. This part, the flap is only, it's covering like, it's cutting halfway into the square. While down here, it's like maybe a quarter. So you would be thinking of that if you're drawing with like a pen or a marker or something more traditional. I like pixel art because it simplifies things though. So again, so here's our topmost part. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in a box. That's the box. And then we have over here, you see this curve right here? Well, guess what? We put it in a box. In fact, I can put it in a box from here because I see a curve here as well. At the bottom right. Put it in a box. And then you just draw. So now we're gonna go to our line art layer. And we're gonna fill in this space right up. Okay. We're gonna fill in this space right here. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing it? Okay. We're gonna draw it now. So we have this over here. Pixel art, you can't keep going diagonally or else it's gonna look weird. So we're following that line. For me, of course. So there it is. Alright. And then this is going straight down, and I'm putting straight down in air quotes because of that. Alright. I'm already seeing a curve over here. So even that, we could have put in a box. We're just putting it in a box. So let's see. This is the topmost point. We put it like so. Simple as that. Simple as that. So I'm following that curve. All right. This is what we have so far. What is this? All right. It looks weird from here, but you should be able to see it by the time we're done. All right. So we're gonna keep going. Thank you. And all of this, we're gonna make a little flat, and then it comes down like so. Oh, this is not sponsored, by the way. I fully have Adidas name all out on here. Okay. Right, and then from there, we can just go ahead, and then I would add red to that. And sure, I'll go ahead and add some shadow. Not to be confused with the hedgehog, even though these are literally his colors. Just realizing that now. Okay. Just cleaning it up a bit. And sure, let's add it to, not add it to the back. And we can go ahead and add some white just for authenticity's sake. How does that white look again? Oh, my reference layer is underneath. Okay. heels look like an M for Mario slippers. So that's what that is. Again, let's go ahead and get this box over here. I said the box. Green. All I did was put it in a box. So that's the overall box. If you want to look at it from a very simplistic view, that's what you would be seeing. That. Yeah, actually, we can add one there. That's what you'd be seeing. Just put it in a box. And the same thing would go for the left shoe. Alright, so if we want to put this shoe in a big box, I'll actually put it up here since this is the topmost one. Undershot it. Okay, now I undershot the left side. This should be the one. There you go. That's your big box. It's not exactly fit for the simplest of curves, but if you wanted just a general sense of what that would look like, it would be this. So you'd see that. We're looking at the space in between. In between is where we're looking. So by looking at what the shape is cutting out of the box, you draw that shape. And then once you draw that shape, as a result, you draw the shape of whatever it is you're looking at because they share the same line that you drew. But the line that you drew is a lot easier to visualize because you don't have an attachment to some random line that's cutting out a piece of a box or a piece of a square. One of the things that trip up many of us when drawing is all of our preconceived notions of, or our ideas in our head of how we think a thing is supposed to look. And instead of drawing what we actually see, we draw what we think is supposed to be there. But by using this box method, we take that away because we have no attachment to these random boxes that look like pieces of paper that were cut out or whatever. We just see them as shapes. So once you do that, it doesn't really look like anything. But if you actually were to fill it out, it would look like a thing. Okay. So now I'm actually gonna take this apart. That box, like this box right here, here, that's what I would use for like a general bounding box, just to keep things in frame. But this wouldn't be the only thing I'm using. Actually, yeah, no, it wouldn't be the only thing I'm using. I could use these two. So this space right here, and this space right here, and this space right here, 100% could use. But for these right here, I would use something different. I would use a box that would go something like over here. So you see that curve over. So you see this curve right here. That's what I would do. And then for this curve, I would use another box. Do something like that to see that curve. Right. But on the surface, if I'm just starting out, it would look something like that, which doesn't really look like much, but when you have the reference in front of you or next to you or wherever it is, it's going to make sense to you. And then it's up to you after you make that box to just put the angles of whatever that object cuts out of that box. So we have, so we go ahead and do that. All right, now we're gonna get the curve of this. And right here, I would actually make another box, like right here, like that. Like you see the space in between? Yeah, I would make another box there. That's how I would do. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a way that has to make sense to you. Whatever way makes sense to you is the right thing to do. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. And even this, look, if I just take this up here, you see this shape? You see this shape in between here? Do you see it? Are you seeing it? It's just like triangles and curves. It makes everything so simple. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, see, this is where pixel art gets a little hard. Okay. Right there. And then right here, if we notice, that it's just this little bitty triangle. Look at this little tiny little triangle. That's all this is. It's just a small triangle. So we do that. Drawing a small triangle is a whole lot easier than drawing an entire slipper. And that's the beauty of this technique. It just takes everything complicated and it really just simplifies the business out of it. Okay, this one is basically just a very, very, very mildly bent straight line. That's it. That is it. Okay. And this one, ooh. So I'm seeing a bit of, a bit of an S curve. Do you see that? How it comes out like over here? Like right there. That's like the part that sticks out the most, and then right here is the part that sticks in the most. So I would do that. Now, obviously, this would be easier with pen or pencil or marker or things like that. However, again, I do pixel art because it makes things simpler. And I find that when I get too caught up in details, I end up like misreading it, misdrawing it, if that's a word. Like one of my bad habits is that I make curves too curvy. So you see how it's like a slight S curve? I would make a huge S curve. And I also have a habit to make things bigger than they are or thicker than they are. And now I'm just realizing this right here does not really look accurate at all. There you go. Okay. So we take away. There you go. I'm far away. Those look like my slippers. Let's just go ahead and fill it in. And that's that. So that's basically how the technique works. I am doing different objects in the future to demonstrate how this technique works. I think I'm gonna up the pixel size because it might be a little difficult to read with only being 40 pixels by 40 pixels. So maybe in the next video I'll do 50 pixels by 50 pixels, so the squares are a little smaller and you're able to see it better. But I just want you to understand the basic idea, the basic concept of the technique, which is, if I could just simplify the technique into 4 words, it would simply be put it in a box. Oh, wait, that's 5 words. You got the idea. Okay, that's it. What object should I draw next? All right,